Near the end of May, I received an email from a player known as PK. They asked me if I was curious to take a look at their world that they made for a limited time event, which I thought was really cool. The footage you're seeing in the background now is of my experience in this world. Listen, if you're a creator and you make something you want shown off, do not hesitate for a second to email or tag me on Twitter. Email is preferred so I can save it though. The sooner I know about it, the better. VRChat is a place made for the players, by the players, and I think it's awesome when a small team wants to showcase their creativity and have fun with the resources they have. I'm all for promoting events, parties, world showcases, charities, etc., as long as they align with my morals and are, at least somewhat content friendly. So yeah, don't worry about bothering me with something you put hard work into. I won't be able to cover every single thing I get, of course, but even in those cases, you can expect at least a retweet to try and push your work out to my audience, or something like this, where my experiences in the world are shown throughout the video while I ramble about whatever else is on my mind. Please, though, let me know if I have permission to actually record ahead of time. Some people just want to have it spoken about and only use media that they recorded, and I want to respect that. Others maybe just want me to look at the world and enjoy it and use word of mouth. For this case, though, I did get at least some loose permissions and let them know I had plans for their work. The Silent Dawn release party was a place where art and music combined into one very trippy experience. The first green flag for me was the warning at the start. We've talked about it often on this channel about having certain warning signs in your world is important. Look forward to mid-July for a full set of pre-made general warnings that my community has helped put together. Anyway, it took me longer than I'd like to admit to find the start button, but once we got playing, the world transformed from being a dark and scary underground to a luscious green field that could have come out of a picture book. I went to this world alone since it was time sensitive and my work schedule is wonky, so unfortunately I didn't get the pleasure of experiencing it with others, which I'm sure would have changed the vibe of the showcase. For me, most of the time was spent either looking at myself with the changes of colors and shaders or just lounging and enjoying the show. Something I've always found interesting is when we look at VRChat as a whole and see where people have gone in their own life. For example, 2 videos ago I spoke about how I always wanted to make content, but I never knew what direction to take it. My very first VRChat related video did decent for a non-YouTuber with under 300 subs, and it encouraged me to try again with VRChat in mind. I grew, expanded to Twitch and TikTok, and have ended up where I am today. It may sound silly to some, but I only make TikToks because of VRChat. And because of those TikToks, I got a job that I love with all things VR. And the only reason I got a VR was to play VRChat. My new work, my content, and many of my friends and the people I love, they are all connected through this silly little game. This is why I'm so passionate about the game, is because for some people it is actually life-changing. I decided to ask a few choice players about their paths as a player of VRChat and where they think they'd be without it. These are all people who have built their own little spot in the community, either as a world creator, an entertainer, a host, or maybe they just wanted to build connections and friendships. Many of them have been playing VRChat for a hot minute and have seen the game grown with us. For some, they post entertainment through social media. For others, they build content that people enjoy on a daily basis. Even others host events that help bring people together to enjoy a common goal. And of course, there's just those who, even though they don't add much to the community as a whole, have their own little space and friends that they enjoy. The reason I asked these kinds of people was because change can happen in all of us in different ways. Some will grow like a tower, a pillar of, oh, they made that, while others will only be a legend between the small, humble few, a friend, a lover, and a companion that won't be forgotten. For most of them, no matter how much or little they involve with VRChat, they've had their lives changed in some way. Rakshaw, for example, said that VRChat helped her gain self-confidence and move out of her shell. She has most of her free time taken to help optimize and create new worlds that the public will enjoy, and because of this game, she was able to pay off school loans, support herself and her family, and is almost completely debt-free. From VRChat's influence alone, Insane, another good friend, hosts murder mystery games. I've mentioned before about murder mystery and my love for the craft, but he'd been hosting long before I ever started. He has his own style and isn't afraid to do his thing against the judgment of others. Sure, he hasn't made a huge chunk of change like Rak has, or made some grand addition to the game, but because of meeting lifelong friends through this game, he has plans and is expecting to move out and buy a home with one of our mutual friends. Another example is Sinzon. I'm apologizing if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. They're a creator on TikTok who I also quickly interviewed for this video. As a content creator, you never really know what's going to help you grow more and be more visible to the people. They started their interest in being a VTuber, but not being able to have the funds meant getting creative with how they could breach that gap. Which is totally understandable. One day I think it'd be cool to have a 2D VTuber, but I don't got the money for that right now, and I'd prefer to save for better 3D recording equipment so I can do this. Finally, we have Juzo, who unlike everyone else just wants to vibe and enjoy the game. They aren't really a creator in terms of the public, at least not in the ways that I can talk about, but just because they don't make something loud of themselves doesn't mean he doesn't make anything of himself in the game at all. Juzo learned to build models with intricate animations. He loves having silly little projects like guns or a clothes changing station or particles that are too bright for my eyes. He learned some personal things about himself, like his own sexuality, as well as met and learned from many people's perspectives and had his own challenged and refined. This is one of the best parts about VR chat, is it is just a game. It's here for fun, but it's also an opportunity if you're lucky to find it. I've met people who've used the game to learn a second language. I've seen communities of people who had no one else like them in their own town. I've witnessed projects that start as a tiny seed and grow into something complex and beautiful. Bringing all of this back in, the Silent Dawn release party was a place where two creators could express themselves in an open community and have their art seen and appreciated. One auditory and the other visually. We talked about how beneficial it is in the last video to have a spot for everyone to promote themselves in a fun and interesting way, like through the virtual marketplace. However, that is never the only way, especially in a game such as VR Chat where the people can make whatever they want. There are conventions with admission fees and vendor booths hosted by only through the virtual space. There are DJ events for music artists that grew thanks to their prowess and determination. There are adult clubs like the swinger events where you're an ID check away from releasing your stresses with other adults. There are dancing events hosted in spaces like on streets and in a dance booth where people can refine their own techniques and styles through others. When I was trying to pick out a new name for myself, I wanted it to have some kind of meaning to my brand as a whole. Some players are perfectly content with it's just a game, we're here to have fun, and that's it. And I respect that. For many, it is just a game to relax. They are allowed that. But to the people like me, creators, innovators, idealists, romantics for the future, it is something more. We help make the game just a fun game for the people who just want to relax. Because people have an opportunity to make themselves a space here. I want to look at these little nuances of life and VR chat and appreciate the work and effort that was needed. This is getting into the territory of a whole different video that I've been working on for about a month now, so I am going to stop there before I get way too into it. In the long and short, I know this is a topic I've covered in a different way before, but I find it so amazing and interesting to see how people's lives literally are changed for better or for worse through the game alone. Many don't realize that sometimes something small can grow into its own community, and maybe VCat Channel 1 wasn't so wrong about having a whole new world outside our real one. I don't think that we're that far off from having our own little spot to call our own. Thank you all once again for popping into another video, and thank you PK and LLLL Tokyo, or Tokyo, sorry I don't know how to pronounce it, for letting me experience your work. It was fun, I enjoyed it deeply. As usual, everyone who's been mentioned in this video will be down in the description below, so make sure to give them some love if you have time. Y'all be good now, and make sure to drink your water, eat your broccoli, and have a fantastic day. See y'all in the next video.